2021 WKU football spring game is just around the corner. We'll kick off on the 17th of April at 1 o'clock here at Howard Smith Stadium. It's free to the public. Looking forward to that. And we're now going to talk about this WKU football team for the year of 2021. First of all, their head coach, Tyson Helton. I'm Randy Lee. Start things off, Coach. It's been a while since we've been face-to-face. How are the kids and the family doing?
Everybody's great, man. We're doing awesome. I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too.
Man, I have to tell you what, sitting here with you right now makes me feel like I'm back in football season. I'm ready to go.
Is that good or bad?
No, that's great. No, that's great. Beautiful day today. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a pretty day for our spring game.
And now I've got your family all lined up for the bike rides once you get some spare time.
Yeah. Well, after spring ball, I'm going to take you up on that. But now, you're such a pro at these off-roading bike rides. I'm a little nervous to go with you.
No. Well, I didn't know. You're inviting me? I didn't know you were inviting me.
No, you're the guy.
Okay.
I mean, you got to guide me through. I got 4 kids that would love to go with you.
Well, we'll guide you through. But more importantly, we're going to talk WKU football, and things have changed a little bit. Everyone talks about this transfer portal. What has it done for football? How has it changed your off season and the look of this team?
Well, it's changed a ton, to be honest with you. I think you can fill holes a lot quicker than what you were able to do in the past. We're embracing it. I like it. It was an off year, a weird year, the COVID year, where you couldn't go out and recruit and see some of these players, these high school players. And so we made the decision, hey, we're going to hit the transfer portal hard, and at least you get to evaluate guys. You get to see them against collegiate level, and you get to pick up the phone, call a coach who's coaching them, and say, hey, tell me about this guy. And so I've been really happy with the guys that have been on campus here with us. The majority of the guys are here that we signed, that were transfer players, and I'm excited about the future for them.
Now, what has it done to high school kids across the country who just graduated? To me, it sounds like their opportunities may not be as promising, at least for this year, because you also have that extra year where kids can come back. So is it more of a challenging year for the high school seniors who are now college freshmen, maybe to play FCS football or FBS football? They have to look at another avenue?
Well, yeah, I do. I think it's throw everybody off. I mean, it all trickles down, to be honest with you. But I think it will work itself out after this year. Recruiting will open back up. It's still dead until May 30th right now. You can't go out. Hopefully in June, most people are vaccinated. Hopefully you can have camps or have people on unofficial visits on campus. And so things will get back to normal. Yeah, to answer your question, it was probably a tough year for a lot of the high school seniors. But, the one-time transfer rule should get passed this spring. And I think that's going to help a lot, because now all of a sudden if a guy goes somewhere, maybe he, went to FCS and had a great year and wants to try to play back up. Maybe he gets a better opportunity out of that, So it'll all work itself out.
Our show today is being brought to you by the Stewart Richey Service Group, serving Hilltopper fans at their home, business, and facility. And with financing now available, there's no need to worry when a major repair is needed. Stewart Richey will be there to take care of you. The Stewart Richey Service Group, your one-call solution. Who handles all the work around your home, you or Mama?
See, you're always walking me into these questions that I'm going to get in trouble for.
Are you a fix-it-up guy at home?
I try to be.
Okay, well, good.
But,
A for effort.
Yes, but I'm also a football coach, which means ultimately I can't fix anything. My wife is in charge of the house, and she can fix everything.
Good.
And when I'm at home, I take orders from her.
All right. Now, in terms of fixing it up, when you came into the spring practices, what were you trying to fix up from a year ago?
Well, I felt like offensively we needed to add more depth in the receiver position, which I think we did. I think we needed to change up the quarterback room, bring some more competition in there. I think we did that. The running back scenario, we were able to get a big physical back that I like in Adam Cofield.
From North Dakota State?
Yeah, from North Dakota State. There was a lot of pieces of the puzzle that we were trying to work on offensively. A little different philosophy, a little more tempo offense, more throwing the football around the park. I wanted to increase the number of snaps. We're probably in the low 60s during the season. You're probably somewhere in the mid-80s now.
Okay.
So a lot more opportunities offensively. On the flip side, though, it's going to put a little more pressure on your defense.
Right.
Now they're going to be out there more. So we went to the transfer portal and got some depth in the secondary. Needed to add some bodies there. Feel good about our linebacker position. I think we got good depth there. Some of the guys that are going to be coming in. As we know, we lost some guys on defense that were key players for us. I think of a Devin Key, a Dante Ruffin. You can just keep going on and on. Trey Meadows, Kyle Bailey, a lot of productive players that we've lost. So we need to go in, fill some voids there. I felt like we got a lot done during spring. I got to see a lot of guys play. Still got some work to do. We're still recruiting, so recruiting's not over yet, and we'll still add some more bodies.
Now, a couple of early mornings this year, we were behind one another in the let's get our COVID test line. And you were telling me at that point in time you were excited because you and your new offensive coordinator, Zach Kitley, were drawing up plays on the chalkboard.
Yes.
Now, I don't think you use a chalkboard anymore.
No.
What do you use now?
No, we use a grease board.
So you still write things down?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the whole wall, all four walls are nothing but a big whiteboard.
When I drive by occasionally, you're late at night, I can see up there using that.
Yeah, no, we're we got a lot of plays being drawn, that's for sure. Zach's done a great job, and he's got a lot of ideas. I really like our offensive staff, what we've done there. We got a lot of creative minds in the room. I think that helps a lot. But just some of the style that he's bringing in, the tempo offense, the quarterback plays such a huge part of it. He's going to check at the line of scrimmage half the time, try to get you in the right play. So there's a lot of things offensively that I thought Zach did a good job bringing to the table.
Bailey Zappi is the quarterback from Houston Baptist that Coach Kitley coached. So it's good to have when you have a new offensive coordinator and a new quarterback. It's good that they work together.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, when I hired Zach, it just kind of happened that way. Zach was interested in what he was doing offensively. He's coming on board, and next thing I know, he's got the senior quarterback and Bailey Zappi, who's going to hit the transfer portal, and so it was a perfect scenario for us. And Bailey's done a great job. I mean, he has full command of the offense. Really helps us in year one of this offense to get off to the right start. Helps the young quarterbacks learn from an older guy who's been in the offense. So there's been a lot of positives there.
Now you're having to replace maybe your MVP of your entire program in Clayton White, your defensive coordinator, who I think 3 times was up for the Assistant Coach of the Year award, the Frank Broyles Award. He's now a defensive coordinator in South Carolina, but you were able to move someone currently on the staff into that role, so it's not a brand new body and a brand new look on that side of the ball.
Yeah, we still have a lot of cohesiveness on defense. We're able to promote Maurice Crum to defense coordinator. He's done a great job his time here as linebackers coach. I had made him the co-DC last year. He really did a great job in that role. And so it was an easy hire for me, to be honest with you. He was ready to take that step. Defensively, the scheme's already there. Everybody knows what to do, how to do. Obviously, losing Clayton, that's tough because he's very talented. I think he did a fantastic job. But I think Maurice is going to bring a lot to the table too, and he brings a style and a leadership quality that I think will be good for our defense.
Speaking of your defense, games are won. You need a great quarterback and skill people, but you got to win up front. And let's start on a defensive line. Your biggest recruiting job was having D'Angelo come back. So you got D'Angelo Malone at one defensive end. You have Juwan Jones at the other.
Yeah.
And Ricky Barber had probably the best freshman season of any defensive lineman to ever play at this school. That's a big 3 right there.
Yeah, no, we've got some
You're not moving Ricky Barber like the fullback, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. Those big D tackles inside are come at a premium. They're tough to find. So, but yeah, I mean, all 3 of those players are really impact players for us. To be able to get D'Angelo Malone back for his last year was huge for us. I mean, he just changes the game.
Now, what was your selling point to him? Because he's accomplished so much here.
Yeah, well, he had a lot that he still wanted to accomplish. He has goals of being a top draft pick. Maybe anywhere between the first 4 rounds. I mean, that's a goal of his. And not to say that he might not have done it this time around, but with it being an off year. Not a lot of NFL scouts were able to get out. A lot of the evaluations that you normally would get weren't there.
Shorter preseason
Yeah,
for
shorter
him.
preseasons, and so he really invested in himself. Said, "Hey, I'm going to take this off season, get bigger, stronger, really try to raise my stock." And I think he made the best decision because he's really now put himself on a platform where he's kind of that marquee guy that everybody wants to see now. Yeah. He's doing a great job with his weight. He's almost 240 pounds now, which is awesome to see because he was down in mid-220 area when he was playing last year. So I think you're going to see a bigger, stronger, even more talented D'Angelo Malone out there.
Does he get to eat more now this year? Allow him to keep that
well,
weight up?
It's like, it's funny how all the players flip the switch when they know it's their last go-around. They all of a sudden he's eating more. He's watching how much he sleeps. He's doing all the right things. And so he's fully invested in the process for sure.
All right, on the offensive line, you've got to replace your interior three. You got some quality and some depth, though, at that offensive tackle, kids who played here before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you look at the left tackle, Cole Spencer, just, had a great career here, has played a lot of football. And you look at Mason on the right side, he's done an extremely good job for us last year. I think both those guys out on the edges are really, really good for us. And so it's great to have those guys back. Again, the style of offense we play, those tackles are key for us. So
did I read where we're not going to have maybe as much protection behind the big five as we've had in the past, so they're out there on an island a little bit?
I hope so. I hope we have protection or the quarterback's going to be hurt. But,
Well, I meant in terms of not value of protection, but number of bodies is what I meant.
Yeah, so we're, losing the big, like you said, the big three. That you talk about a lot of football. Jordan Meredith in there, losing him, and you got Tyler Witt. And, you look at all those guys that have played for us, and that's a lot of football, a lot of experience. So we went and, again, transfer portal, got an older guy, and was able to stick him in there. And we got some depth there, but you can't change that for experience. And so we'll see. You may have more of a rotation in the O-line on the inside this year, but they're doing a really good job right now.
Is there such things in this new offense as max protection? Do you leave backs in, or is it 5 linemen? It's your job because everyone else is going after a pass.
No, we do it all. We do it all. Right. So 5-man protection, 6-man protection, 7-man protection. I told Zach when he got here, I said, listen, the quarterback's the key, so we got to make sure this guy's protected. And he's done a really good job of making sure that he matches the protection. And the quarterback, Bailey, does a really good job of making sure when the back needs to be in or he needs to redirect, he does a good job.
I looked at Houston Baptist stats and how many passes they threw a game. Yeah. I mean, they threw a lot of passes. That's sort of in the area we're going, you think?
I think, if you look at, and I'd hate to say how many passes you're going to have, but if you say 85 snaps in a game, I think you'd have about 50 throws in the game, you know? So you're looking 50 at least and probably 30 or 35 runs, you know? So there's going to be a lot of throws going on out there.
What can fans expect when they come here on Saturday to watch the spring game? What is the game plan?
It's going to be more of a scrimmage-type setting for us this year. I think, you won't see an actual game. It will be live. It'll be offense versus defense. We'll have 2 groups going. We call the red group, that's kind of your first group, and the black group is the second group. So you're going to hear us say a lot, hey, red group up or black group up. And, we want to make sure we get everybody in the game and everybody plays and the fans get to see everybody and let them make their own evaluations of where we're going, what we're doing. But really just showcasing our base offense and defense and kind of finish off on a strong finish.
Speaking of, playing in this or that, have you had a chance that you think about the schedule much?
I thought about the schedule a lot.
Yeah.
The first 4 games is going to be challenging for us, but exciting. Love that we're playing on a Thursday night, in the opener with UT Martin. I think that's going to be a great game. I love that it's a Thursday night game. That'll be a great atmosphere. And then travel up to Army. That'll be the 20-year anniversary of September 11th. So that's a very special game. Last time we were able to get the win here, big win against them. It's always tough playing Army. You always come out of that game, especially your D linemen, because they do so much cutting. You're pretty banged up. So come back home, got a big game against Indiana, and that's a great opportunity to have a statement game. And
they'll be the highest-ranked team we've ever played here.
Yeah, I didn't know that, really.
I'm pretty sure. I can't think of anyone else. They're preseason number 11.
Yeah, well, that'll be a challenging game, but those are the games you look forward to.
Sure.
A big game, great environment. I know our fans will come out for that, and then go to Michigan State, finish off non-conference, and then get in our conference play. But the big thing is, coming out of non-conference, we really want to position ourselves to be in a good position, be healthy. Hopefully we're doing well, and then go make a conference run.
All right, sounds great. Thanks for the visit today.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a good time on the spring game.
Thanks, man.
All right. Our conversation with Coach is brought to you by United Rentals, an associate sponsor of the spring game. Browse the world's largest fleet of rental equipment on any device, anytime. Tough and reliable equipment available to get the job done right. Call United Rentals, 270-796-3737, to rent the right equipment for a better work site. We'll come back and learn about our two new coordinators right after this.
The Stewart Richey Service Group's about offering many different areas of service. That's one of the unique things that we have to offer to the client, is that they can make one phone call and reach a service provider for whether it be HVAC, plumbing, electrical, refrigeration, or fire protection. We cover just about everything.
Welcome back to our spring game preview show here today at beautiful Houchin Smith Stadium, about a week prior to the spring game, which is this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. on the 17th. And our show today is being brought to you by Cheney's Dairy Barn and Restaurant, an associate sponsor of the spring game. They offer premium homemade ice cream made with milk and cream for the Jersey cows. Cheney's has been recognized as the #1 ice cream parlor in the Commonwealth, in USA Today's top parlors in 50 states, and best ice cream in Bowling Green. Don't want to miss it. Cheney's Dairy Barn and Restaurant for delicious homemade soup, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Now that we're speaking of food, we're joined by new defensive coordinator Maurice Crum. The last time we hung out together before a season was last year. We were at a friend's house in the pool, and you look a little heavier than Coach. I'm guessing you promoted to a coordinator, making more money. You can afford to eat healthier. Is that what it's all about?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure I spend some time at work and get it all done. But I'm eating okay.
Okay. Good. All right. Now Maurice certainly is not a not a new face here on campus. You were hired here as a special teams coordinator, and then you moved up to work with the linebackers and a co-defensive coordinator last year. Yep. So your work has just increased, and your responsibilities, and really helps when you do a good job and you're rewarded for your efforts.
Absolutely. I mean, I pride myself on trying to do things the right way and just being immersed in the job that I'm in. And that's kind of paid off for me. So that's something that my dad and my parents instilled in me early, and I just never let it go.
Now, the defensive coordinator for the last few years was Clayton White, and about every year he was up as one of the Frank Broyles Assistant Coach of the Year Award winners.
Sure.
So you were under him for a few years. What did you learn from Coach?
Man, I learned so much. Just on the day-to-day operation, how to manage a staff, how to manage the players, how to build relationships. And then how to call defenses. He and I spent a lot of time together, a lot of long nights and trying to figure out opponents. And, it was just it was a phenomenal experience for me, A, as a young coach, but B, just to have someone who was so willing to share, who was so open that I could learn from.
Now, we've had some really good defenses the last couple of years. Yeah. And up front, we've got a lot of guys back.
That's right.
But once you get past that defensive line, we've got a lot of new guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the defensive line first of all. I'm going to call them the big three.
Okay.
Malone, Barber, Jones.
Yep.
There's no one in the conference with a better big three than that.
Man, I love those guys up front. And, I mean, you can even throw in Jeremy Darvin. I mean, he brings a wealth of experience and a ton of production. I mean, just to have, for a first-time coordinator, to have those four guys up front, it makes you sleep a little bit easier because I'm a firm believer in it starts up front. So if you're good up front and those guys give you a chance to win, I think it makes everyone's job on the defense a lot easier.
Now, let's start with the linebackers and work backwards. We do have a young man who helped us out 2 years ago and missed the entire season last year, Clay Davis. Yeah. And he was really at sort of a tackling machine late in that 2019 season.
Yeah, I mean, Clay's phenomenal. I mean, he's one of the smartest players I've ever been around. I mean, you can tell him something like one time 2 years ago, and he'll remember it 3 years later when it happens. I mean, he's that sharp. Really big fan of Clay Davis, and Nick Days is coming back. A guy we're excited about, and We'll get a chance to see what Will Ignat brings. You know, we think he's going to help us.
Will Ignat, a gentleman or a young man who was heavily recruited,
Sure.
went to Tennessee.
Sure, yeah.
And, we're high expectations for him, I would assume.
Absolutely. I mean, and he's played. He's played college football at a high level, so we expect that same production, that same leadership out of Will. He's having a phenomenal spring thus far, but looking at those three guys and some of the other guys who've been here. Malik Staples, he's played in some games, and who else we brought in?
Bryson Washington.
So there's a ton of guys who've gotten snaps here, but now it's trying to see who can play and produce when the Bullets are live.
Let's start in the back end. We lost the school's leading tackler all time in Devin Key. However, his mate back there for 3 years, starting with him for 3 years, is Antoine Kincaid.
Yeah.
He's a super player.
Oh, man. I mean, phenomenal guy. Love the way he plays football. I mean, he just plays hard every single down. He's so passionate about the game, the way he studies, the time he puts into it. And then when he said that he was coming back, I mean, that was another, blanket to put on top of what I had up front.
Just talk about him coming back, and then D'Angelo Malone.
Yeah.
I mean, having those two players at that level decide to come back for another year. Getting both of them back?
That's huge. That's huge, especially for a first-time coordinator. I mean, just having guys who've been in the system, but guys who were productive in the system is something that, you just can't take for granted. But in addition to that, for the young players who are behind them and trying to learn and trying to grow, talk about a Kendrick Simpkins, a guy who he sees Kincaid come to work every day.
He's a Kincaid kind of player, isn't he?
I mean, that's his model. I mean, that's the guy who's in front of him. That's the guy who shows him how to do it.
I didn't much about him. He wasn't playing that much.
Yeah.
And we weren't allowed to come to practice last year because of the COVID, so I couldn't see him in practice. And the first game you put him in, it was late in the season, I think. I mean, at least he was playing special teams. But he had a chance to play. Who in the heck is this? I mean, they say he's seeking missile.
Yeah, he's got a trigger like no other. He's aggressive. Yeah, he's what you call face tough.
Face tough.
He's not afraid to stick his face in there. And
see, I'm a face tough because I got a tough looking face. Is that the same?
A little different. A little different. There's on and off the field face tough.
Okay. Now we lost some corners. Yeah. I was at your scrimmage this past weekend. Saw a pick six.
Yep.
So who do we have at corners? Looks like we have some taller corners.
Yeah, we got some good length out there. T.J. Springer, who's been here in the program, but he's definitely kind of been in the program and grown. Kind of started to step up and do some really good things. We got Davion Williams transferred from Michigan State.
Okay.
That's who you saw got the pick six.
Okay.
But those two are really long corners. And then we bring back Beanie Bishop and Don Bradshaw, two guys that, they were rotational guys for us last year, but they played some football for us, and now they're trying to become the guy. But I really like the depth at the corner position. We're able to roll 4 or 5 guys, and they all have different skill sets. Some are longer, some are quicker, and I think that's advantageous for us at defense to kind of allow us to match up.
Now, one term that everyone uses now in basketball too. No one's tall anymore; they're long.
Yeah.
And you were at Notre Dame about 12 years ago, something like that.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
When you were at Notre Dame, when you had tall corners, were they called tall or were they called long?
They were just tall.
So when did this thing change from tall to long?
There may be about 6, somewhere between that, maybe 6 years, somewhere in there. I don't know what happened.
These new phrases, and in basketball we talk about going uphill and going downhill. I mean, that darn court's level, Coach. I haven't seen a court that's up or downhill yet.
Yeah, thank God for it being level. It'd be a tough game if it was uphill.
All right. Well, we're happy that you're here as our defensive coordinator, and looking forward to having a really exciting season.
I'm excited, and I can't wait to it. Every day's still a dream for me, and I'm enjoying the process and happy to be here.
A little different this year, prior to the season than it was when we were getting together, having to think about COVID and all this or that. Fingers crossed that we don't have to worry as much about that maybe moving forward as we did prior to last season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you definitely want to try to keep everyone healthy, everyone safe, but it seems like things are progressing in the right way, and hopefully they stay that way.
All right, I'll see you in the July pool party again this year.
Awesome. I'll be there. Can't wait.
Okay. That's defensive coordinator Maurice Crum, and our show here today is being brought to you by United Rentals, an associate sponsor of the spring game. Browse the world's largest fleet of rental equipment on any device, anytime. Tough and reliable equipment available to get the job done right. That's United Rentals at 270-796-3737 to rent the right equipment for a better work site. And when we return on our bowl preview show, we'll hear from the new offensive coordinator for the Hilltoppers, Zach Kitley. That's next, right after this.
The Stewart Richey Service Group's about offering many different areas of service. That's one of the unique things that we have to offer to the client, is that they can make one phone call and reach a service provider for whether it be HVAC, plumbing, electrical, refrigeration, or fire protection. We cover just about everything.
Welcome back to our spring game preview show. Spring game this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. here at beautiful Houchin Smith Stadium. Looking forward to watching this new look Hilltopper football offense show us a thing or two, and we'll visit with the new offensive coordinator here in just a second. The spring show and game is being presented by Stewart Richey Group. They offer all Hilltopper fans at their home business and facility. Financing now available. There's no need to worry about when a major repair is needed. Stewart Richey will be there to take care of you. The Stewart Richey Service Group, your one-call solution. And when Coach was looking for a solution to our offense, he made a phone call to Houston, Texas. Heard a little bit about this young man named Zach Kitley, gave him a phone call. I assume he pitched him a little bit on this position, and Zach Kitley decided he wanted to be Hilltopper, and here's our new offensive coordinator, most recently from Houston Baptist, a Texan. And Zach, I appreciate the visit.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
What did Coach tell you when he first approached you about the possibility of coming here and being a part of this football program?
Yeah, he just gave me a call to see if, piqued my interest here to see if I'd be interested to come to the offensive coordinator. Definitely had major interest. I knew Stephen Hamby here, Coach Hamby from our days back at Texas Tech coaching together. So, have known a lot about this football program for years. This is a prominent G5 program across the country, and definitely a place that I've heard many, many good things about. Like I said, from my good friend Coach Hamby, and definitely was very interested from the jump.
Now, Zach, this is not much like Houston. Even though Scottsville Road can get backed up around 5 o'clock, they think that's major traffic. A little different than Houston, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's a great change up for me, though. I'm more of a kind of a smaller town West Texas guy, so moving to Houston was a big jump for me. And so now Bowling Green's a great place, and I love it so far.
I spent some time out in West Texas at Angelo State University many years ago.
Absolutely.
So we know about tumbleweeds, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Plenty of them.
Now, when you mention Texas Tech, everyone who follows football thinks of one thing first. That's Mike Leach. We always think he's sort of like the mad scientist. And, of course, Cliff Kingsbury came afterwards. Cliff, I'm sure, was affected by Coach Leach in some degree. You weren't around. Were you around a little bit when Mike was there, or just sort of later after Cliff came in?
I was just a Coach Kingsbury guy. No Mike Leach for me.
Mm-hmm. So no Mike Leach stories for us.
Oh no, I don't have any. I've heard a lot. I don't know if I could give them to you like some other guys could tell them. Coach Hamby, I'm sure, has some great ones for you though.
Now, Maurice Crum, who we talked to on our show, says you guys go back and forth and try to make each other better. You'll draw up a play. He'll try to draw up a defense, to combat that, and you go back and forth. He says he feels like you could be a really good chess player. Do you play chess?
I do not. No, okay. I do not. But he could be one too. That's Coach Crum is. Awesome. It's been a great spring, kind of going back and forth at it. We were just talking about it before we got on here together. Just the success of both sides of the football, and at the end of the day, it's what we're looking for. This is a team game, and looking for both sides to have a lot of success.
Now, the offense that you coached at Houston Baptist this past season really opened up some eyes. You played some tough teams and put up a lot of yards against those teams, and you had a quarterback there who was fairly good, Bailey Zappi, and all of a sudden you're here and he's here. So at least you don't have to break in a new quarterback.
Yeah, that's been a huge blessing for me. That this will be year 4 going with Bailey now, and he's a tremendous young man and a heck of a quarterback, and definitely made the transition for me a lot easier.
What have you learned over the last couple of years in putting your offense in place? Now, some people call it pass happy. You're throwing it. Last year you threw it about 80% of the time, something like that, maybe close to it.
Yeah, probably closer to 70,
okay.
But somewhere around there.
All
yes,
right.
sir. Yeah, I'm a quarterback guy. I was groomed under Coach Kingsbury there, who's the best in the business at coaching quarterbacks, in my opinion. Was very fortunate to be around some of the best out there. The best quarterback in the world right now, Patrick Mahomes. I got to spend 3 years with him, so I've been around those guys. I know how they play, and I know what it takes to be a really good one. And so my philosophy is put the ball in the quarterback's hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of something that I do. I let my quarterbacks have free reign and getting us to certain plays when they see certain things and they like it. And I think that's kind of a big jump in the passing percentage compared to the runs. And, we'll do a lot of the RPO stuff too. And if the defense is playing the run, then we're going to spit it out there.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Patrick Mahomes. Probably most people will say the best quarterback in the NFL right now. First of all, what did he learn from you when you were Texas Tech? And then what did you learn from him?
I think the biggest thing he probably learned from me was that I need to get out of his way, and I did. Let him play football. But the thing I learned from him, is just how to really be great at the position. He's one of the best vocal leaders I've been around, and as well as just student of the game. He really came in, did the extra film work, was awesome with his teammates. He made sure no matter what the situation was, he was rallying around those guys and he was getting them going. And I think the Super Bowl they won 2 years ago, I think after they dropped a muff punt or whatever it may be, you see him on the deal, and he's just unbelievable leader. And those guys buy into that, and I think that's the most important part of the position.
Now, we're known around here as tight end U. Does your offense throw to the tight end?
Absolutely.
If he's good?
Absolutely.
Do we have a good tight end, Joshua Simon?
Yes, we do. He's a very good player. Yes, we do. Yeah, my philosophy is put the best 11 on the field, no matter what that is. If that's 10 personnel, empty, 12 personnel, no matter what that is, we're going to put the best 11 on the field.
When you arrived here, of course, you did a lot of film work before you took the job, I'm sure, to assess what you would have if you took the job. Where are we at offensively in terms of some of our strengths and some of the areas we want to improve upon, not only this spring and going forward, but maybe the next couple of years, to get where you feel like you want our offense to be at?
Yeah, I think one of the main strengths coming in was the offensive line. I think they've done a tremendous job here. Coach Helton and his father are offensive line masterminds. So I think the offensive line's a big strength for us here coming in. We're pretty good at running the football coming in. I felt like we really just needed to open it up offensively. And, I think that starts with quarterback play and then receivers on the edge making plays. And I think kind of what we're going to do offensively is going to help get some of those playmakers in space a little bit more and give them opportunities to make plays. But, I still feel like we're a really young offense right now. I really do. And you look at the depth chart and see how many, freshmen and redshirt freshmen and sophomores we have. We're relatively young. And so I think the biggest deal is really grooming those younger guys, and I think like it always does, it starts in the trenches. And we've got a lot of really young offensive linemen that we got to keep grooming those guys and get them going.
You were hired shortly after the bowl game. So I would assume you've had some time to get involved in recruiting and help make some of the decisions as to some of the transfers that we brought in, at that wide receiver position. And we also have a transfer up front that we're anticipating playing a lot in the offensive line.
Yeah, another very blessed situation for me. I was able to bring 3 of my wideouts from Houston Baptist with me as well. Josh and Jared Stearns, who are here right now going through spring ball, and another tremendous young man, Ben Ratzlaff, who will be joining us here in June. And I think those guys coming in with some continuity with me and the quarterback will be very important. We got Daywood Davis and Adam Cofield in at running back. Bo Wilson is stepping in and making a huge impact with us on the offensive line already. And, I don't think we're quite done yet. I think we're going to try to bring in a couple more as well.
All right. Well, have fun this coming Saturday, and we're certainly happy you've decided to make Bowling Green your home and WKU your team right now.
Yes, sir. Well, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I love being here. Thank you, guys.
And this is just like West Texas. It's windy, just like West Texas.
Hey, this is home for me. I love it. It's awesome.
We won't have any tumbleweed blowing by.
No, none of those.
But this is a West Texas win here today at Houghton Smith Stadium. So that's our new offensive coordinator, Zach Kitley. Our show today has been brought to you by Cheney's Dairy Barn. They offer delicious homemade soups, sandwiches, burgers, and more, served daily for lunch and dinner. They've also been recognized as the #1 ice cream parlor in Kentucky. So congratulations to that for Cheney's Dairy Barn and Restaurant. So that's a look at the spring football coming up, the game this coming Saturday, and also our WKU football team for 2021 and moving forward.